so cute.
Hello, everyone. Were you surprised?
No, I mean, a little bit. I was like, this is so awesome. I'm here. Oh my gosh, that's my face. That was cute, though. I was like,
Right?
Your
Do a little
music
bit
is
of dancing now.
great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love it. It's
Thank you
so
so
good.
much.
Yeah.
Well, hello to everybody out there today. I'm GloryHounnd, and this is...
Ellen Kirby with We Game Together.
That's right. And today we're talking about board games and beverages. I have my beverage. Did you bring your beverage?
I surely did. And honestly, I literally just saw what your name was. And I'm like, wait, do I even have, what's my drink? Do I have a drink?
Like, hold on. Double check.
I didn't know we were doing beverages too. I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh. What are you drinking?
Well, right now I'm just drinking that one coffee place that everybody goes to, and with lovely little cups like so.
Very cool. That's like in every Pinterest photo, like, oh my gosh, where'd that girl get them jeans, girl? She's like also holding a coffee cup.
Right.
But I get it though. Like, I'm not even gonna knock that. I love the coffee cup.
Oh, things are getting weird already.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna really try to stay on topic today. Y'all know it's not gonna happen, but I'm gonna try. I'm drinking Spindrift.
You're drinking what?
Spindrift. It's bubbly water. Yeah, so the brand is Spindrift. It's actually has like real fruit extracts in it and actually like pulp also. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, I think it's like 9 calories. Is there any sugar in this? I don't even know. 1 gram. Breaking the bank with that 1 gram, baby.
I love bubbly water. That's like usually my jam. I got one of those like little soda stream things where you can make like your own bubbly water and stuff.
Yes,
for the holiday. And I was like, I love this so much. I can make any flavor I want.
All of a sudden you're like, I can do anything in the world.
That's right.
Like, I'm a superhuman. Have you seen my post about my espresso machine?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes. Okay.
I'm turning into a psycho.
Mr. Coffee, the first one you got, we actually have that one at home. So like I use that one all the time.
Yeah, it's great. So like I do a French press. I went to a friend's house. She made me a latte and I came home. I was like, oh, Randy, my friend had this really cool Next thing I know, if you know Randy at all, he's researching the heck out of it. He gets me the Mr. Coffee. It was great. It did its job. I loved it. But he's like, no, there's better stuff out there. So next thing I know, he's like buying me this like Breville, I think it's Breville Barista Pro, and like all the customizable handle, and like I'm learning about tamping and pulling and all this crazy stuff. It's fun.
You become a house barista is what it is. Then after that, you're like, all right, hold on. Who wants lattes? Like
I have neighbors coming to my house with their cups. Right? They're like waiting outside in their slippers.
If I lived next to you, that would be it. That would be the thing to do.
I would love to make you a latte. Well, yes, which we're going to talk about today at some point.
At some point.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that we would go through some of the games that we've played throughout the week because, I know you do live playthroughs. We do live playthroughs.
Yeah.
And that takes up so much time, that mid portion of just kind of like explaining the game and then playing the game, and it's fun and everything. Yep. But then like at the end, I'm like, sometimes I just want to get out of there. I'm like, I don't even want to talk about this game right now. I'm like, I just want to leave. Like I've been on here for 2 hours.
I also quit my job and my life.
Right.
Quit everything.
So I thought this would be a good way to go over some of the games, either that we didn't get to like any live plays or ones that like we really, really enjoyed the live play of, Yeah. So do you have any ones that you want to start with, or do you want me to go first?
You go first. This is your day.
Okay.
This is your day in the sun.
I'm wondering if you've played this one before. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Okay. The Sherlock Files. Have you seen this?
We had a Sherlock game before, but I don't know if it was that specific one. Is that super lengthy with like reading and stuff, or is that a different one I'm thinking of? Okay, then no.
So the Sherlock Files is really, really interesting because this is basically like a deck of cards. And I thought, and it's called the Q system that they use for the game. And basically what you do is you just deal this deck of cards out to people. So you each get like 4 or 5 cards. You look at them, and all of them are pieces of evidence in this case. And not all of it is like pertinent information for the case. So there could be like false leads and stuff, but you only have so much information in your hand. And anybody else at the table that's playing with you only has that information in their hand. And so whenever you decide to put something out, you have 2 choices. You can either put it down on the table and decide, okay, I want to add this to the case. It's probably valuable information. And it can be like, in your hand, it could be like, letters or maybe like a picture or like security footage or something. So they're all different cards.
Huh.
And the other option you have is not to reveal that card and just discard it.
Hmm.
So at
Okay.
the end, you get negative points for any information that you brought to the table that like wasn't good for the case.
For being a bad detective is like,
Right.
you suck. Also, here's your negative point. In
Exactly.
real life, those are not the consequences for being a bad detective.
And then of course you get graded upon your like superiority, and you're like, when you're down at the bottom,
Oh.
you're like, oh, you're like, I'm not even like a detective in this case, like a
Oh my
bystander or
gosh.
something.
Oh my gosh. That's a card game, you said?
It is, and it's
Okay.
such a simple, easy game to learn. And I was like, really, I went into this game going, oh man, this is not going to be any good because it's just some cards. Like, how good is this going to be?
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I had so much fun playing this
That's
game,
awesome. And
Ellen.
I'm curious to look into that. Who'd you play with? Like, how many people?
Well, I just played with the doctor, so Dr.
Oh,
GloryHoundd.
okay.
But I could see how this would be so challenging with more players because sometimes, like, you're reading a piece of information, you're like,
Hmm.
I don't know if this pertains to the case or not, but I don't want to risk it. So you trash that card, but then you're the only person with that information in your head.
Huh.
So, like, if something else comes up later in
Oh,
the case, you're like, dang it. Well, I know this kind of applies to it, but I already got rid of it, but I can't bring it up because, like,
that's
I don't
so
have a card in hand.
interesting.
Yeah, I thought this was
Hmm.
such a fun game, and I was so excited to get this to like
Is that
play
like a
people
game?
afterward.
So, you know how we played Medium together? Is this a game
Yeah,
we could play together on live, or would that be hard?
I think the only problem would be you have one deck to pull from,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Oh,
like then
sure.
that's like your own unique information. Yes. So if
Okay.
you do really badly, you're called Inspector Lestrade. So like you're like the lowest of the low in the
Okay.
Sherlock
Well,
universe.
that's rude. You know what though? Randy and I have played a handful. For those of you watching, Randy is my husband. He's the other half of We Game Together. He's not here today. Usually this side of the screen is orange because that's his player color. But today we
Right?
got all the pink.
Oh yeah, the the pink and blue go really well
Uh,
together.
you
So
know what, girl? I was just gonna say, look at us. Your hair, the
I know
background, the
it matches
blue. Like this.
perfectly. It's so good. It's like
This is
it's like we
fantastic.
coordinated.
We so did not. This is amazing. I almost wore a blue shirt too. Wouldn't that have been weird?
Oh, that would
I'm
have
gonna
been
change. I'll be right
fantastic.
back. I'm just kidding.
Stop
I'll
the
be right back.
stream.
Everybody stop. I gotta put on my blue shirt. Okay, so Randy and I have played many detective games. Why are we so bad? Like we told ourselves
Yeah.
never go to
Yeah.
school to become a
Mhm.
detective because we would mess everything up. Everybody would
Yeah.
be dead and we would never get to the bottom of it.
You
Would
know,
never.
I feel that way about, like, the Exit game series and stuff. Every time I play those, I'm just like, "God," like,
Like,
why am I such a bad
why
person
am I
at
a
this?"
dumb person? I thought I
There's
was smart and then no, I'm not. I'm dumb.
there's some people who solve those things so fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really? Really? I
Yeah.
was on BGG for an hour because I got stuck, okay?"
Mm. Like I froze in one spot. They're okay when we go to those escape games because we've done kind of a lot of those. I'm always the idiot looking in like coat pockets. Everyone's like, I cracked the code. If you put this number with this letter, then think of the year 1943. And I'm just like, I found something in a pocket of that coat. I'm the look under the chair person. That's what I
Uh,
do.
yeah,
That's what I contribute.
Fatal says, "We have to get to the bottom of this case." Ooh, squirrel. Squirrel. That's exactly it.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bad. But I also have found in an exit game when we're playing with a bunch of people, sometimes it takes the look under the chair person to notice something. So that's, yeah, that's where I tell myself I can feel better about myself.
100% does because,
Yeah.
like, in an escape room, you need those people that go out and find stuff, and then you, like, need, like,
Yes.
the deciphering people that, like, get brought all this stuff, and we're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, now we're going to put all this together and make
Yeah.
something," you know? But you do need
Make
to
something of ourselves.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
That's me. I'm the coat jacket person.
In the Sherlock files, you don't have just 1 case, you have 3 cases that you go through too.
Oh,
So,
very
like,
cool.
you get to play 3 times. I'm so happy with this game.
Oh, so
Ellen,
that's
you need to
a,
play this with Randy. Like, you need to
I
play
feel like I absolutely do. I trust you. So I'll try it. Is this like, can you get this, like, what's the price of this price point?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I wasn't that prepared, so
Oh gosh, don't even worry about it. And actually don't ask me any questions because I won't know. Ask
I
me this many questions.
I'd
Mm.
imagine it can't be, like, more than like $20 or something, or $25.
Okay.
It has to be in that $20 range because it's 3 decks of cards. And this is from the same people that did the Undo games, I believe, that I didn't like as much. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. It says
Undo? I don't think I've heard of that.
No, this is actually Indie Boards and Cards as the publisher. Apologies. Yeah, Indie Boards and Cards killed it with this. Like, so good.
Okay.
So good. Let's see. You need to pull everything out so that other people can figure out the puzzle. Yes, Andrew. 100%. Like, that's just Andrew is one of the finding people that runs around the place and finds everybody.
Yes, another coat jacket person. Literally, I'm like, where's the chairs? I'll look under the chairs. Oh my gosh. Okay. What have I played? Okay, this is what we live streamed. Let's see here. I got a whole stack of goodies.
Oh my goodness.
Let me get this out of my way. Yeah. Ooh, I was trying not to show it. I just showed everybody. Okay. We just live streamed last night. I know, right? Last night. In the
my gosh.
Mountain King. Yeah. This is a huge box. Like, I have a big head. Look how huge that is.
Yeah.
Dang it. So basically Randy loved this game. He played it at Origins. I did not go to Origins with him in 2019, I think it was. He came back, told me all about it, and I was like, oh, sounds cool. He said this, I think this one made his top 10 of 2020 list. I had not played it yet. If I had, it would have made that list. It is so cool. You have the polyomino thing, which Randy just loves that, you know, the Tetris-y, fit everything into kind of whatever. So you can choose the path of building them all out so that you can put some like caves on them to score big points. Like you get to put a big old block on top of everything. If you have the right amount of tunnel spaces laid out, or you can actually just try to dig tunnels through the mountain to the core of the mountain. And based on how far in you get, to that set. Look at you, you're all cool and you have digital stuff. And I'm like, is a game? And it's got paper and cardboard.
It's good. I liked it.
Thank you for being cooler than me and more prepared. By the way, Kat has no idea what games I'm going to say, so she's just pulling this up on the fly. You're so cool. I love it. But you can like build pedestals and then get those statues on top of them to score extra points. There's also, depending on where you build your pedestal, you get like, there's a tiny track where random numbers come out, and that's like also random points you can collect during the game. And my favorite part about it is you can see those trolls there, those little cards 1, 2, and 3 decks. They actually stack like a pyramid, kind of like they're doing there, but in front of you, it's your own private pyramid. And every time you bring a troll into your stacking pyramid, you get to load up on all those resources and then use them throughout the game. It is super fun to trigger that pyramid. That is one of my favorite things of the game. I just think it's very, I don't know if it's unique. I think there's a lot of games that kind of do that stacking thing. There's like Sierra something, West, Randy. Oh, Randy's here. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Randy came in and was like, hi, babe. And then he was like, oh, that's for Ellen. You don't know.
Doctor's like, what?
That was cute.
Oh, hi, babe. So Randy, what's that game that has the pyramid stacking things? It's like Sierra West, I think it's called. So it's not necessarily unique, but it feels like it. That's the game we live streamed last night, and Randy lost so bad to me, right, babe?
That's the best. He didn't. That's the best.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh, dang it.
He murdered my soul. But actually, I had the chat helping me, which was incredible. Every time we do a live stream, I'm like, chat, here we go. And they all help me. It's been amazing. Yeah.
I love it. I love it whenever chat helps, especially like whenever I make a mistake and then chat's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I love that. It's fantastic.
Or I feel like they're always rooting for me. They're like, you missed points on this. I'm like, yes, I did.
Yes, I can take those right now. Last night, I swore I was going to make a poster, and every time like someone's a standout citizen who helps me, I'm going to add their name to this poster.
Oh,
like crush it in the game. Even if I didn't win.
Our chat likes to sabotage. That's awesome. It's true sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, In the Hollow of the Mountain King was so good. I'm trying to remember when we played it. It was one of those ones that we had backed on Kickstarter. I'm like, this looks amazing. I love it so much. Yeah. And then when we finally got a chance to play it, I was like, this game needs more. Yeah. More people need to play this game because it's so good. That
why doesn't it get love? I don't understand. Like, did it come out at the same time as another big game or something? Because it
I
is
don't know.
fantastic. I've played a
It
lot of
doesn't
dumb games out there, and this one's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it is so, so good, and it's so
Yeah.
unique because of that cascading
Yeah.
portion, and, like, when you're triggering those, you don't wanna trigger them whenever you already have resources on there because then
Yes.
they don't fill up, which is, like, such a huge thing
Exactly.
because you're like, "I need these resources."
Yeah.
I'm like, "But I have too many resources on here, and I can't do
Yeah.
what I want." So, like, it was so tough. Yeah, it
Yeah,
came
and
out
those
the end
spell
of
cards are
December.
cool too. Oh, did it?
Yes.
Okay, end of
Yeah, it
December.
did.
Yeah, I wonder what came out with that because I feel like it didn't get enough love, and frankly,
I
I'm upset.
I also feel like maybe because it was, like, the end of the year and
Yeah.
everything was, like, so crazy and people, like, weren't getting their
Mm.
products and we're getting the products, so maybe, like, it was just a crazy time of year for it. But, yeah, if you have not played it at home, like, you need to play it because it's so good. It's so,
Fantastic.
so
Yep.
good.
We love it. We love it.
Alright,
All
let's see
right.
here. What else have I played? Hold on. I wrote out a list, and then I was like,
Mhm.
"Alright, I'm gonna pick, like, random stuff from this list on my random do you like war style games, like Area Control?"
No, they make me angry.
Really?
Yes.
Why do they make
I'm
you
like,
angry?
because I work so hard to get there, don't take my space from me. I can't help it. I am, like, uber sensitive. You know what? And actually, so Rurik, have you played Rurik: Dawn of Kiev?
No, I haven't. I have
Ugh,
not.
that is ridiculous. It's actually behind me here. It's really good, and there is area control, but what I love about it is you can actually live peaceably with your neighbors, so you don't actually have to
Oh.
fight. You can. So I'm always like, "Randy, don't take me out because I will moita you." But you could live peaceably, and I like that.
That's
Yeah,
how
I
I
don't know.
feel playing Scythe all the time because, like,
Mm,
it's not really your benefit to unless you're,
sure,
like, playing one particular clan. It's not your benefit to, like, kill anybody off during that game unless
sure.
you're just being mean.
Uh-huh.
But, like, if people start
Sometimes
getting
it's
too
fun.
close, I'm like, "This is a warning right here. You see this line right here? This little hex line? That's my stuff." I'm
This
like,
is a
"And if you
warning.
step
You will
over, it's on. It's on, like Donkey Kong, okay?"
die. Sounds like Donkey Kong. When you say Donkey Kong, it just got real up in here.
That's
I
just the note. I stand up, I'm like, "It's on like Donkey Kong up in here."
can't make you say the DK word. Don't go there. I will destroy you with Donkey Kong.
Oh, well, maybe this is one that you might like. This is
Okay.
War of Whispers, and
Mm.
we had seen the Shut Up and Sit Down, like, review of this and kind of got, like, super entranced by this because it is a war game, but you're not necessarily playing the factions that are warring on the table. You're playing like people behind the scenes that are like kind of instigating these things and trying to get
Ooh.
like your certain person to win on the board, but it's all secret information. So people don't know who you want to win on the board, and you can control all the factions on the board. It just matters how you place like your little workers out there and which factions you can move. So you can smash factions into other factions purely for your own benefit or maybe to throw people off. Like it was so much fun, so much fun. And
Wow.
it gives you the feel, I think, of a war game without like that anger behind it whenever somebody go ahead and like takes over your area and you're like, I've been working all
Yeah.
game for that.
Yes. Take that feeling to me. Oh, I can't. I can't.
This is Kat whenever the doctor does anything in a war game. That's true.
Yeah, Randy and Randy doesn't take it easy on me. He would never like let me win a game or be like, "Oh, I won't do that for you so you can have." Like he'll do what he needs to do to win, and I can't handle it. It's bizarre. Like I can lose against anybody, but when I lose against Randy, I get so mad. So in a take that game, it just sets the stage for like getting angry. I can't
Yes.
help it, guys. I'm a mad gamer. I
Yeah.
can't
No, there's
help it.
particular games that I will not play with the doctor because it gets me too angry at him. I'm like, "Nope,
Yeah,
not
you're like,
today."
marriage needs to stay healthy. It needs to stay
Well,
healthy.
we always say, like, we don't wanna create the fog of divorce, so, like, we try to stay away
Mm.
from those games.
That's the wisest thing I've heard all week. Yeah, Randy and I we really don't have a lot of take that games in our collection because I just can't handle it. I can't. But this
Well,
looks
this
really
one
cool, and I love a round board.
Yeah, and it's, like, your little placement and stuff around there, like, it just goes you place your people, and then it goes right around with, like, how, the
Huh.
actions resolve right around the board, and it goes in 4 rounds. So it's like super simple and it's super exciting to play. Like I had so much
Yeah.
fun. And there are times when like if your faction is doing really, really badly, like you do have the chance to switch your little components around. So you're like, all right, I'm not going to go after those people. They're losing. Like we're going to go up here. And then you have to reveal them. So then it's public knowledge though. So you have to hope
Oh,
that you do it at the right time of the game to kind of sway things. So like there's a lot of stuff built in there. So
oof,
if you're doing really, really poorly, like you're not going to have a terrible game. And
yeah,
then also as a war game with these factions attacking you across the board, you really could care less. You're like, yeah, go ahead. Like I
yeah.
want you to do that. Go over there and attack that thing. That's gonna help me out. Like,
That's great. Do it. I dare you.
right? Like, hold on, let me add more people to smash them together some more. Like
It does sound intriguing. I mean, it sounds like a dangerous game to bring into my home under my roof, but it
and
does sound intriguing.
Andrew says, plus you get a lazy Susan, and then you can go ahead and rage quit by just like spinning the lazy Susan, the pieces
Oh my
fly
gosh.
all over.
I love it. I love it. You can actually serve food on it or crush your enemies and then rage quit. Would you like some sausage and cheese? Sorry, I'm from Wisconsin. Would you like some sausage and cheese? Here you go. And now
And then you're right. The rage
I
spin. That's right. The rage spin. I like that.
love it. That's so funny.
So you
Well, all
totally
right.
have to
I'm
try this game
intrigued.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Speaking of round board, this is the greatest
Ooh.
ever. Yeah. Okay. Is this one Pebble Rock Delivery Service? This is a circular board and it's ginorminorm. This is a nope, let me start again. Skybound game. Pickup and delivery game. It's actually like it's a family game, but it's definitely light. Like it's geared towards kids. But you know when you go to a movie and you're taking your kids to a movie, it's a kids movie, but they know the adults, the parents who are going want to be entertained as well. So they throw some funny humor in there for the parents going to the movie. That
Yes.
is how I would describe this game. There's definitely interesting ways to score in this and that there's item cards that help you throughout the game. You know, kids don't always look for that kind of stuff, but there's that in there. So there's more meat to the game than would otherwise be because it's literally like you roll and then you get to move. But it's not one path. You get to travel all over the board. You deliver cargo to different places and get points depending on where you're going. Which is kind of cool too, because depending on proximity of where you're picking up and delivering, like the points will be totally different. You could have like a 3-point card or 15-point card or whatever. So we actually live streamed this with my son Jackson, who is 8 years old. And let me tell you, the fame got to his head.
Did it really?
Oh my gosh. Literally, by the end of the game, if you go watch that stream, in the beginning, he's kind of nervous. He's sitting down like this, not really saying anything. And by the end, he's just like, Mom, there's a comment. You got to go read that. And he was reading all the comments to me and making sure I answered everybody's questions. I'm like, so then he went to school and told all his friends about it. He's like, did you catch me live? Like I streamed live.
That is so funny because we had our kid on. We've had our kid on for a couple of streams here and there whenever we need to fulfill like our 3-player requirement. And they're 10, so a little bit older, but
Yeah.
they go into instantaneous like YouTuber mode. They're like, hey guys, hey everyone, it's the Glory Bear here. Hashtag Glory Bear. Like, make sure to like and subscribe. And it's like, yeah. And if you want to go ahead and put Glory Bear down in the chat right now, just like give me a thumbs up. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
Oh
and
my gosh.
they just start running the stream for us. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just play my game over here now. Like, go ahead.
Quit.
Yeah.
I quit. I had some reviews of miniatures I was going to do later, but you can handle that.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he definitely. So now, like when we streamed Mountain King last night, he's like, Mom, can I sit in on this one? I'm just like, honey, I love you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
but anyways, this is what we live streamed. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. Super cute game, family, kids, but also there's enough stuff going on in here that I think adults would have a super fun time. And the production value is amazing. So that to me is always it's a big deal. It's a big
Fatal says, first time on YouTube, smash that like button, guys.
smash it, guys.
Right?
Don't forget, and like the little
Right?
subscribe
That's
and
exactly it.
Yeah.
And you're right, it does. It gets to their head, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
all right, and then they go and tell all their friends at school, but then you get new subscribers. So
I mean, apparently there's a handful of parents at my kids' school that like tune in and watch our stuff now. So I'm like, all right.
that's so
my little Evangelist.
cool.
Yeah,
Right?
it's kind of cool. It's cute, and he feels really cool, so yeah, it's good times over here.
Well, Pebble Rock looks really, really cute. So I have a
It
question
does.
for you since,
Oh
we're
gosh.
talking about kids in general. Since no,
Oh,
this
okay.
is
I
shouldn't
can
be a
handle
hard
this.
question, okay? This is for like kids in general. I mean, we're both
Okay.
moms and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Mom to the 4th power. This is my mom
right?
shirt. 4
So
kids.
when did you introduce your kids to board games?
Oh, well, so technically, Randy and I have only really he's been in the hobby for years, but really had just kind of like big box games from Target and Walmart type things. He finally got me into it, and I've hardcore been gaming for like 3 years, so it hasn't been that long. But we tried to get, let's see, he's 12 now. He was around 8 or 9 when we tried to get like my oldest into gaming. I gotta tell you, Kat, I gotta tell you, I'm ashamed to say it. My kids are not gamers.
Oh, really?
Like, I
Okay.
literally have to threaten them to sit down and
Yeah.
play a game with me. I'm like, "You will have so many chores if you don't play this game with me."
Do you want to
Um,
do the dishes or do you want to
do
play
you want to
games?
sweep
Okay.
the floor and mop, or do you wanna play a game? And I honestly think that what it is video games, and I hate saying that because we do have, rules in my house. We don't just let them play forever and, like, never have responsibility, but the way that they approach board gaming versus video gaming makes me sad because it's like, this is an experience, man. Like, we could be bonding, and there's so much imagination and, like, oh, you get to touch the pieces, it's tangible, and they're just not into it. The one that live streamed with us, he'd play all day. He'll play anything, and that's amazing. But I feel like it's because he's got the right attitude and we're catching him at a young enough age where it's just kind of working. But my other two kids, man, when we all sit down to play a game, literally fists are flying, kids are punching each other. I'm
Oh
like,
my
stop
god.
fighting. I'm not even kidding. Like I have all boys and they just my sister's like, wow, your kids like to yell. And I'm like, yeah.
You're like,
I
thanks,
wish I had the
thanks.
perfect answer, like, "Yeah, we game every Tuesday at 3." Like, no, we don't. What about you? Does your kid play?
I think that like when you're talking about video games and stuff like that, it really does have a big influence on where they
Yeah,
want to spend their time. And I think that's the
yeah.
problem, especially for us in our household. Because I started our kid gaming at a very, very young age. I started them with King of Tokyo when they were 4 years
Mhm.
old.
Mm,
So it was like super, super young, and the pieces were big enough that they
yeah.
could play with them. And I did a lot of, I guess, introductions. So we like played chess
Yeah.
like games with them. And, we played Takanoko was one of their favorite games for a very long time. And whenever they were like 6, they were playing like miniature style games, like
Oh,
your
cool.
Blood Bowls or like, your Game of Thrones style, second edition style games. So big war games and stuff. When they were 6 years old, they'd sit at the table and just play anything. But
That's
as soon as the
amazing.
Nintendo and the phone and all those other things got into the mix, then you did see like wanting to
Yeah.
play board games go down, especially with their free time and going to school. Because if they were going to school and they had to do chores and then they
Yeah.
had an hour at night
Yep.
to do something and play, why would you want to play board games with mom and dad? Like, I want to play
Absolutely.
Fortnite or I want to
Yep.
play Minecraft or something with my friends. And it sucks.
It
Like,
does suck, but I understand it too because you're right,
yeah,
like, they are at school for 8 hours. They're up at 6:30 in the morning. They go to school. They have all the pressures of everything crushing them. Then they come home, they
yeah,
have chores, they have homework, and then on Wednesday nights, we go to Bible study, so that day's like we allocate it for something, so they don't even get to play games that day. So I understand them wanting to come home and just chill out, like, I get that. So
yeah,
we try to do every Friday night as our family game night, and we really try to make it happen. We've obviously been not succeeding at it, but it's like it's on the calendar at least, and that's a step in that direction. It's on the frigging calendar.
you have like a
Like,
little note with a
yeah.
circle. You're like, it's gonna
Mhm,
happen.
mhm.
It's gonna happen.
Make
Okay.
game time happen. Yeah, it's super hard though. Yeah, those video games, man. My grandma always used to be
Yeah.
like, "Technology's gonna be the death of us," and I was like, "Oh, grandma," but now that I have I'm like, "Technology's gonna be the death of us."
You're like, maybe, maybe. I mean,
That
it
was
could
so bad.
happen.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and I think that big thing is just, like mom and dad aren't as cool, especially when they get older too, you know. Mandatory game night is having fun is required. You're required to have fun here, okay?
You're
I know this
required
is
to
your
be able to
favorite
hang
game.
out with us. Yeah.
I'm hoping
Oh,
that'll come
someday.
back around, like
Yeah, I think
eventually
it will.
Yeah, they'll get to a point where they're like, okay, I have enough free time to do this, or like, I don't know. I'm like, I just want to play
Yep.
games with my kid. Okay.
Yeah, same, same. But
Okay.
it's also a fun thing for Randy and I that we bond over too, because a lot of what we do is kid heavy, and so board gaming is like our way to hang out also. So
Yeah.
I like a balance.
Sometimes you're like, get out of here, kid. We're playing. Mommy and
Sometimes I'm
daddy
like,
are
I don't want to
playing
see a
games.
face for 3 hours.
Nosferatu says, I'm curious if video game, board game, like combinations like Small World of Warcraft or other thematic games like that will catch their interest more. And that's a good question, Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any Fortnite or Minecraft ones. I think World of Warcraft is like a little bit more in that like 35, 40 age range, because that's when that first came out, people were playing it and stuff. But I think
Yeah.
if there was like a Fortnite board game, my kid would probably be more interested in something like that.
Yeah, our kids are to the point where they don't even play with like toys really. They like Legos,
Yeah.
but they're not even like toy kids. We bought one of my kids like Fortnite a set and like he didn't really touch it. We did get them, oh, where is it? It's the Biomes and Bromes. Why do I want to say that? It's a Minecraft tiling board game. It's
Oh,
really good.
what?
It's really good, and it totally has the Minecraft feels. You feel like you're digging tunnels, and there's like, well, I don't know what all the creatures are called. The scoring is really good. It's a great game. So there is that one out there.
Oh
And
my
I know
gosh,
that
I
I've
haven't
heard,
seen that one.
yeah, it's fantastic. We got it for them for Christmas, I think, last year. We've only played it a couple times, but that's not a knock on the game. Oh, Randy says it's by Ravensburger. Thanks, babe.
Really? What's the name of it again?
Oh, Randy, what is it? Now that I know he's in the chat, I'm gonna exploit that.
Exploit. That's right. Like I
I
need
think
to
it's like
know.
biomes and oh, he'll say what it is in a second. It's fantastic. And then also Vikings Gone Wild. I've heard that compared to Small World. I don't know why, because I've never played or not Small World, sorry. What's that video game? Yeah, Small World, right? Video game? What did he call it?
No, I know Vikings
Small
Gone
World.
Wild has a
Oh,
video.
Warcraft, he was saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
Warcraft. Mhm.
Well, Vikings Gone Wild, I've heard compared to like a digital game, and I was curious to see if my oldest son would be interested in it because of the video game, but we
Mhm.
don't have it. I have to borrow it or something. So,
Yeah.
mm,
Well, let me see here. What else? What else do I have?
builders and biomes. That's what it is. Builders and biomes. Yeah,
So,
really good game.
do you and Randy like playing cooperative games a lot? Like co-op games?
No,
What? Why not?
no. I feel like you can probably guess. I feel like you can guess. I loathe beyond anything when I feel like someone's telling me what to do. I
Okay.
get
Okay.
very Randy, okay, and disclaimer, Randy is not an alpha gamer whatsoever. He's actually very good about not doing that. He like is very intentional about not doing that to people in general. In cooperative games, but it just doesn't matter. Like I can't handle it. Like Ella, it's your turn. Maybe you should. And I'm like, just do my move. I don't even care. Like
Oh, that would
I'm
make me mad.
gonna
Yeah.
lose. I want to lose hard, and I want to lose by myself. Like don't
The doctor
support.
will get excited sometimes and like be like, "Oh, you should do this," and I give him like this face. It's like, should I? Should I? Is that what I
Should
should
I
be
do
doing?
that? Oh gosh.
Like that,
I
and
can't.
that
I
usually
cannot.
stops it right there. So then it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. Well, you do whatever you want. Like if it makes us lose, that's cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, that is cool. That is cool if we lose, isn't it cool?"
Isn't it great? Don't you just love it? And we're gonna
Right.
lose by my hand because that's what I
Okay.
chose to do.
That's exactly it. It's like I'm gonna take this game right now, just because of this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have a bad taste in my mouth with co-ops. And every time I play, and I know it's excitement, I understand that, and I want to feel that passion. But when I play co-ops, people are like, the last time I played a co-op, literally people were on the table and they're like, "Oh, Ellen, if you do this right
Oh,
there, if you do that guy over there," and I'm just sitting there like, "Do it. That's great. Go for it." It was I can't get into it. So that's
I
why I don't like
totally
co-ops.
get that. What is it? Nothing like losing a co-op because of spite. Yeah, that's exactly it. Doctor is using my GloryHounnd account right now to speak for me.
Yeah, I was like, "How are you doing this? You're so multitask and talented." It's a
So, well,
ghost, GloryHounnd.
we actually recently played Hero Realms, and this is like a deck building game, but
Yes, I
they
love
have
it.
a cooperative campaign mode.
Uh-huh.
And in this cooperative campaign mode, it's actually story based. And I have to tell you that although I hate deck building games, like,
Oh,
okay, I
I
don't
didn't
hate
know
deck
that.
building games. I dislike them because they can get pretty like repetitive. But
Sure, sure.
with the story involved in this game, and then like you get to level up your characters and you have your own cards in your hand, you're building your own deck, but then you're also fighting like one boss together.
Okay,
So
yep.
like you get to manage the cards in your hand, you get to put stuff down and play them out like you would. And
Mhm.
then you're both trying to hit these bosses and monsters come out. They can come out in front of either person. They can have like effects and you can kind of like help the other person. So like you can kind of try to heal them or hit monsters in their area and stuff like that. And I thought this was such a fun and unique addition to like a normal deck
Hmm,
building game. Like I'd much
okay,
rather play this than just like a versus deck building sort of game. Like
sure.
it had so much fun story in it, and the story is not the same every time you go. So, like, you have, like,
Oh, that's
choices.
cool.
It's like a choose your own adventure portion, and then, like,
Yeah, yeah.
we had chosen to, like, follow instead of following the human, like, down a
Uh-huh.
hallway, we follow this imp down a hallway. I'm like, "It's just an imp." I'm like, "It's just, like, a tiny imp. It's gonna be fine, like, this has got to
Anything
be,
can
like, the
happen.
easiest path," and then we get there and, like, we see the cards, like, this big old buff, like, like, monstrous
Uh,
devil horns thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is not the imp
you're
I
like,
wanted to
"I
follow."
retract my statement. I
I know,
retract it. This is not the imp I followed."
yes. I from far away, he looked tiny, okay?
Oh my gosh, it's like the white rabbit on Monty Python, like, "It's just a rabbit."
Right?
Everybody dies.
But that was so
Oh
much
my
fun being
gosh.
able to choose that portion, and then because of that, like, we fought a different boss, and we got access to
Cool.
different types of cards and stuff like that to add to our
Okay.
decks, and it was so much fun. Like,
That's
I
really
this
interesting. I didn't know you didn't like deck building.
like, I feel like deck builders are boring. I'll play them
Okay.
maybe 3 or 4 times, but after that 4th time, I'm like, "Okay, I know how this deck builder works, I'm bored." You know?
Yeah,
Like,
interesting, okay.
there's only
Well,
so many ways to solve certain deck builders like that unless you have, like, new cards always coming in and,
yeah.
like Magic the Gathering, you know, you always have a new set of cards coming in, so the format always changes and you always have new combinations. In, like, a normal just box set deck building game,
Mhm.
that none of that ever changes, and then you're like you find out the best way to do something, you're like, "Oh, if I just go for all the green cards, I would just win all the time." And
Yeah.
that is just not very entertaining for me. So,
I hear you. It's so funny how people are so different in so many aspects of life, but, like, you're saying why you don't like deck building, which is exactly why I like it, because I feel cozy and safe being like, "Oh, I've been here, done this before," and then I get
right?
really familiar, and it feels flowy to me. I love, like I love, like, repetitiveness in games, I really do. So that it's like a safe thing, like, "Oh, I've
It
done this
is.
before." Yeah.
It
So
absolutely is.
and, you said Hero Realms, correct?
Hero Realms, yeah,
Hero
and
Realms,
so
okay.
since Hero Realms is normally this regular deck building game, having
Yeah,
that extra portion made it so, like, now I can go and play the deck building game with Dr. GloryHoundd, who loves deck building games because of a
yeah,
lot of the same reasons that you do. He loves having
yeah.
that same repetitiveness of in things
Mhm,
where he knows where what things are gonna happen, he can maximize those things.
mhm.
And then we have, like, this whole other offshoot that I'm like, "Okay, now let's go on an adventure." So, like
Cat's like, "I'm bored, let's go."
right? Like, "We played this, now we can go have an adventure
Yeah, we
together,
can go have a
okay?"
fun time. I
Yeah.
actually played so, like, when I was just kinda getting into, gaming in general, we played Star Realms, and I loved it, but I didn't have a gamer head on my shoulder, so I didn't quite understand, like, factions working together and all that. I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" And then, here comes, Hero Realms, and I played that, and it took the place of Star Realms for me, and then I played Shards of Infinity, and that took the place of Hero Realms for me, so it was kind of this, like, ding, 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 ding. So we don't have I don't think we have the expansion of the Hero Realms one where you can play co-op, but I know we have something like that for Shards of Infinity where you can work together and do that. But Randy brings it up every once in a while. He's like, "Man, we still got to beat those monsters," and I'm like, "No, we don't," because I don't.
We don't
I'm
have
like, "Let's
we don't have
sell that, get some dollars."
right. We can just
I
actually
don't want
leave them alone and go over
to.
here,
Yeah,
okay?
we just like not though.
They're not
So I'm
even doing
into
anything to us right now, okay?
leave them
So
alone. They're great. Have you ever even got to know them? They're good people.
right?
They're good robots. What? They
Oh,
just
I
make
love
you feel
Shards of Infinity too. Shards of Infinity is so good. Like it's
so good.
yeah, it's probably one of my favorite deck building games because I don't get bored with that one because of like
Oh. Well,
the
you have cards in
aspect
the
of
middle that
going
you can use.
yeah, and
Okay.
going back and forth and stuff. Like it's very fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I like that you don't have to take the card from the middle into your hand necessarily. You can use its ability and then get it out of there and not muck up your deck. I think that's just
hmm
so cool. And factions work together a little differently. I love that one. Great game. Is it your turn to talk about a game or mine?
I think it's your turn.
Okay, how long do you want the stream to be, girl? Because make me some
Like
content to be down here for 10 days. Like I should probably watch the time.
well, okay, so if you want, we can do one last one from you, and then
Yeah.
then we can go ahead and close it on
Okay.
off for today.
That sounds great. So the next game I'm going to talk about, we did not live stream it. Oh, I'm debating between these two games. I don't know what to talk about. Let's talk
You
about
can
this
always
one.
save the
Get
other one
news
to next
box.
week or something.
Okay, I'll save it till next week. Let's do
Okay.
that. I'll talk about this one for now. Wow.
Ooh.
It's called
What is
Merv.
okay.
Oh my gosh, why did I talk about this one? I know the other one's so much better. By Osprey Games. I don't know. Ian O'Toole does the art, which Beauteous Maximus. I love it. Um, this is a weird little game, and actually, after I played it, it took me like 48 hours to be like, did I like it? I don't know.
Really? Okay.
It's obviously beautiful to look at, which is why I was like intrigued right away. I'm very aesthetically like in board game. It's a hobby. It should be beautiful. Period.
Yeah, I
This one
agree.
caught my eye because yeah, it's like why not make it gorgeous?
The
The
people want
color
a 3-hour
matching,
stream from us.
yeah, right. Oh, they do. We could keep going all day. I'm a talker. A cat's like, no, you're a great guest to have on. She's like, you're a talker. I'm like, yep.
You're
You have
like, I
no
can do
idea.
that.
I can do that all day. So I'm going to try to describe what happens in this game.
Okay.
You have a set of like houses and guys that are soldiers. You can accumulate camels throughout the game that do different things. But basically, what you do is that middle area that you're showing there, all those tiles, which change every time. So there's replayability in that. You place your house down on that, and then by where you go, you get to do one of those different tracks. And I think there's like there's 4 different spaces on the board where you can go do different tracks where right here you're showing. You can take cards to build like spice sets. You can get camels and go up. Oh, I forget the name of the track. Basically, you put your guy down, and then based on where you put it, you get to activate one of the tracks and do something there. But it's one of those games where you cannot do it all because you will
Oh yeah.
lose so hard. You have to pick like 2 things and really hone in on that. And also there's like invasion of the Mongols, I think it is, and they come in, and if you're not protected by having built walls around where your houses are on that main board, you get things taken away from you. I can't even remember. Gosh, this is way harder to describe than I thought. But yeah, I played it and I posted about it, and a ton of people were like, I can't decide if I love it or not. Like I have to try it
Interesting.
again. I only played it the one time, and every time we're playing something for the first time, it's very much like, let's get to know this game first and then go back
Yeah.
and play a real game of it. So man, it just took me the whole game to like understand what was happening. But it's obviously very beautiful. It
Especially on such a large scale game like this. Like
oh
there's a
yeah.
lot of stuff going on in there. And sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to play through it a couple times to be
Huh?
like is now that I know how to play this with all the different paths and everything that you can go to, like you
Yeah.
can kind of figure out if you like it or not. So I get that.
Yeah, visually it was very difficult for me to like comprehend what the heck was going on. But if you just think of it
Yeah.
as you do the center thing first, you place your guy in the center, based on where you put him, then you go do something. So if you
Okay.
just kind of keep that in your mind, it's like it gets simpler, obviously, like the longer you go. But yeah, there's the camels out there you can place in the middle to get resources. So all those little walls built around the edge are protecting you from Mongols when they come. I think it's every 2 rounds you do like a scoring thing. So yeah, it's fun. It's different. I don't know. Randy really loved it right away. I could tell he was so into it. I gotta try it again. Try it again. I gotta
This
try it
looks
again. Not gonna lie.
super adorable. I would
It's
totally play this. This looks good.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I have a feeling I'm gonna play it again and be like, okay, yep, that's good. I really do. Cause you know when you get that feeling in your heart and you're just like, I think I'm gonna love it, but we gotta go on a second date, man. I just don't know yet. I don't know yet, man. So So there's
I need to
merch.
know a little more about you, okay?
Yeah, I'm like who you are as a person, as a game.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? Thank you so much for joining me today. I really had a fun time talking to you about all the games and kind of going into, the stuff that we want to talk about in these games and stuff
Yeah.
instead of, teaching them and trying to play through them and stuff. It can take a
Yeah,
lot of energy. And so this is nice to circle back on these. Now,
very
we
much.
kind of have like a plan for this.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to be back next week, except on the We Game Together channel, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure, like, so basically, Brand and I were doing a live stream, and I said I want to do more content, but I don't know what. And then later that night, Kat reached out, GloryHoundd. Sorry, I should call you GloryHoundd. GloryHoundd reached out. She's like, let's do this like talking thing. I'm like, all right. So we literally don't. We're winging all of this right now. We're
Look,
winging it all.
Leo says, "Hey folks, you both have quality content. Thank you for all that you do." Well, thank
Oh,
you, Leo. We
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Makes me feel so happy.
Right?
Oh, so basically, we still don't really know what we're doing. I think we're gonna flip flop every
Yeah.
other week. You'll host, and then I'll host. And if things technically, on a technical level, with technology go wrong, you'll be hosting more often
Okay.
because I'm scared out of my socks about that.
Well, I think the back and forth will be really fun because then it doesn't put like the load on all on one person too. So it's like one person can
Absolutely.
kind of plan one week, the other
Mm.
person can kind of plan the other week. But I think it's going to kind of be the same format. Like, are you good with this format?
Oh, this is
Like,
a
yeah.
girl. I thrive on this crap. Like,
Okay.
yes, the less structure, the better. I want to just be able to talk.
Right, and that's
Just let me talk.
exactly what I wanted to do with this, was just be able to talk about, like, whatever we wanted to talk about. If we get a tangent on kids
Yeah.
or coffee or whatever, like, we should be able to talk
I
about
love
it.
it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Right now, you guys are all literally watching us plan this out. That's how unstructured we are. Like,
Right?
"Do you wanna do this?" "Yeah, sure, that sounds great."
Yeah. I like this, I like this. This went well, so let's do this again,
Great.
okay?
Super fun, super fun.
So if you are new
Ah,
to this channel, make sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell for more content whenever we go live. And of course, make sure to head on over to the We Game Together channel. They should be in the description. There should be a link there, and subscribe to them and go ahead and ring their bell as well, because not only do they do live plays, but we're also going to be on their channel next week. So I'm
yeah,
really excited about
yeah.
that.
Me
So
too, I'm super pumped. Exciting. Thanks for having me so much, this was fun.
absolutely. So we will see all of you later. Bye.
Bye.